Come on in, come on in, come on in. Sunday night pop up real quick. Let me set my timer too, because I'm not gonna be on here long. Just wanted to do a quick pop up, quick pop up, quick pop up. Check in with my Sunday people. I ain't checked in with my Sunday people in a while. We're gonna do. Let's see. What time is it? 7:26. All right, let's do an hour and 15 minutes. Let's do an hour and 15 minutes. Let's get the clock going. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know where you're checking in from. Come on in, hit that like button, hit that like button. Sunday night pop up. Questions and answers. AMA, ask me anything. Q&A, questions and answers. You got some box truck topics you want to talk about, some trucking topics, questions and answers, whatever y'all want to talk about. It's an open floor. If you want to call in, let me drop the link. Let me drop that link real quick, ED. There go the link. So come on in. So we doing an AMA, ask me anything, Q&A, questions and answers, or you can hit the link and call in. Open topic, open floor discussion tonight. I got an hour and 15 minutes. The clock is running. All right. So come on in, hit the like button. Let me know you're checking in from. We got a poll going too. We only got 10 votes in the poll, so I guess some people ain't doing nothing. And YouTube only gives me 4 options. I wanted to put a 5th option. You haven't started yet, but I couldn't. So I'll just take the other 50% of the people who haven't voted that they ain't running yet. Right now it's neck and neck. 42 and 42 curbside. Curbside took the lead. 46% curbside, 38% OTR. Yeah, man, curbside really took off. You know what's crazy? I swear to God, a year ago this time, when I talked about Final Mile, like it just was like it was falling on deaf ears. Everybody was Amazon crazy. Everybody was OTR crazy last year. Just a year ago, just 12 months ago, everybody was OTR crazy and Amazon crazy. And now people trying to run away from both of them as fast as they can, right? And I was the guy that was ridiculed, made a mockery of for talking about something that, everybody deemed these other options as I guess easier. People want to do easy work and make a lot of money. And I kept saying, like, yo, it ain't finna be like this forever. Y'all gonna see. And man, don't the Lord work in mysterious ways? The Lord works in mysterious ways. The Lord, God was speaking to y'all through me, but nobody was listening. But it is what it is. So 12 months. What did Jay-Z say? Some of y'all might be too young to remember. It was an album that came out. Back like in 1997. And it was a line on that album that said, man, it was all good just a week ago. That's how, when I look back like at last year, a lot of people probably was thinking like, damn, it was just good just a week ago. Things changed. The industry has shifted. Things have changed. And people have transitioned. So, and this poll is a testament to that. We got 33% OTR, 40% curbside, 13% big and bulky, 13% Amazon. 13% Amazon. Let me get rid of this banner. Make sure y'all get y'all courses. If you need to holler at the kid, www.boxtruckcourses.com. All right, let me see. Let's get started. Mark, I'm in Los Angeles. My goal is to do curbside Final Mile, one-man truck. The Final Mile carriers don't post on Indeed over here, though. Do you have any insights into the LA specific market? Thanks, Mark. So let's think about this. You're in the second largest city in the country. So yes, there's plenty of opportunities there. If the opportunities that you're looking for aren't being presented online, or you can't find them online, what you need to do is go through my catalog of videos where I talk about curbside final mile, and I list and name companies. You need to write down as many of those companies or all of those companies. From there, you need to go to Google, right? Once you go to Google, when you go to Google, you're going to get all the addresses for these companies, all right? You're going to get you a folder. You're going to put you a folder together. It's going to include your articles of incorporation. It's going to include your SS4 form. It's going to include your DOT, your MC, all your registrations, everything that proves that you are a businessman that has a truck, that's an independent owner operator. You're also going to include your declaration pages, all right? You're going to include your declaration page for your insurance, all right? You're going to include your accord form for your insurance. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start going to those locations one by one and inquiring and applying while you're there. All right. You can inquire and you can apply in person. All right. So if the internet is not, if you can't find what you're looking for on the internet as far as where to apply online, you can always go to these locations. So just follow those steps that I gave you, and you should land somewhere. You should land somewhere. What up? What up? What up? Let's do this roll call real quick. Shout out to Pippi. Pippi in the building. Shout out to Pippi. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Detroit in the building. Shout out to Interstate Screw. California in the house. Jacksonville, Florida. We got Pensacola in the building. What else? What else? What else? Sacramento. What's going on? Texas, Houston in the building. Okay. Let me see what else. We got Texas in the building. Shout out to SD Walk. Cleveland in the building. Michigan in the building. JoJo say he got his notebook ready. Detroit in the building. Shout out to Sirius Lane. Sirius Lane's in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Flinttown, Michigan in the building. Scranton, PA in the building. Bama, Alabama. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in on Facebook. I gotta get my stream key for Instagram. I want to stream on Instagram and TikTok. I gotta get my stream keys. I want to stream on those two. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for TikTok. I think I'm ready for TikTok now. I think I'm ready for it. I don't be active over there, but I think I'm ready for it. So I'm gonna get my stream keys for TikTok and Instagram. I'm probably gonna start streaming over there. But shout out to everybody that's tuned in on Facebook. What else? What else? My biggest concern is my area, not opportunity about anything. Scranton, PA. Let's pull up Scranton, PA. Let's see where that's at on the map. Let's see where that's at in the map. Ohio in the building. Shout out to everybody that's in Ohio. Philly in the building. Cali in the building. I got some more questions, but I want to wait for others to ask. Listen, you see that timer in the corner? We doing this an hour and 15 minutes. So it's just like I talk about as far as business is concerned. It's a dog eat dog world. I'm answering the questions in the order. So if you got questions, you need to answer them. Don't worry about nobody else. You got to be aggressive. This is trucking, all right? Dog eat dog. Worry about yourself. All right, listen, I appreciate the consideration. I appreciate the consideration, but in business, you got to have some type of aggressiveness. All right, because if you don't, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna come in that has that same ambition as you, but they're gonna be a little bit hungrier than you, and they're not gonna have that same consideration. This ain't like, walking in a building and, holding the door open for the ladies or letting the kids or riding on the bus and letting the women and kids sit down. That's different. That's that's when you give consideration. In business, especially when it's a timeline, you know what I'm saying? And it's a competition. You got a multitude of people who are in this situation who want to ask questions, and I got that clock running. You got to worry about yourself. All right. So ask your questions. I'm going to answer them in the order in which they come, because I'm scrolling from top to bottom. And then once that clock hit that 1 hour mark, that hour and 15 mark, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I'm going to try to do this more often, but I'm going to set a timer, because some of my lives just be going long. If I don't have a timer, then it doesn't, I'll just go. But whenever you see a timer, that means you on the clock. So go ahead and ask your question. Go ahead and ask your question, I should say. Philly in the building. Alabama in the building. What up? What up? Mark, have I ever heard of RNL using cargo vans for curbside? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Copy that. If I'm doing curbside final mile only local, do I need an MC for those final mile carries? So here's a question that somebody wanted to argue me about in a comment section the other day for a video that I did for UST, because I think they misunderstood, because a lot of these curbside contracts are local. But here's the thing: if if the third party logistics company, if one of their requirements for onboarding states that you need a DOT and an MC, then regardless of the fact whether you're doing curbside or not, then that's what you need to onboard. That's what you need to onboard. All right. And here's the reason why. There's a such thing called overnight runs. All right. Some of these logistics companies, some of these third party logistics companies will send you on an overnight run. You know what I'm saying? Or you could be in a situation, let's say you're working out of New York or you're working out of New Jersey, and there's a terminal that's in New Jersey right next to New York, or a New York terminal that's near the Jersey line. Some of the orders that may be coming from that bordering terminal may cross over to the next state. All right. Jersey is right next to New York and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a terminal right on the border of New York, some of those stops, there may be some routes that go into New Jersey. Or vice versa. There may be some New Jersey terminal routes that may go into New York. Like me, I'm in Chicago. We border Northwest Indiana and we border Wisconsin. Sometimes I've had trucks that had to go into Whiting, Indiana, or Hammond, Indiana. All right. Sometimes I've had some trucks that go right past the northern border of Illinois, right, into Kenosha, Wisconsin, where the little boy shot the people 2 years ago with the AR. When he was walking down the street, thinking he was a man, thinking he was protecting Kenosha, and when some people ran up on him, he had to do what he had to do, and he got off. I forget his name. All right, so right when you cross this the northern border of Illinois, coming out of Illinois, you go into Kenosha, Wisconsin. And you got to understand, sometimes there's terminals that cover some of these neighboring states, because those neighboring states, once you cross that border, you're not going into a major city, you're going into a small city. And then the major city for that state is Milwaukee. But Milwaukee might not come further north because Chicago has a bigger terminal. You see what I'm saying? So this is why they require you to have an MC, because sometimes you may have to cross state lines. All right. And then, like I said, now with there being a lack of just contractors, a lot of third-party logistics companies have overnight routes where, you're coming out of a terminal, right? And then you're traveling into a market that's, you might have to travel 3-4 hours to a market, and then you're delivering for that market. You might have 10 stops in that market, but you're delivering to a bunch of small towns that may be 10, 15, 20 miles apart. Right? So they put you up in a hotel room, they give you a per diem, they cover the cost, and then they pay you like a lot more money than they would pay you if you were running your local route. Right? And a lot of the times those routes are in the next state over. I got a cousin that runs final mile that I, school to the business that's running down out of Texas. I never talk about him. And he runs for a company. He's out of Texas, but he does those overnight runs up to Oklahoma. He runs over to Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? And this is why you got to have an MC. Let's see. What's going on? Come on in, everybody. Hit that like button. Let me know where you're checking in from. I see 34 in here, 36. I only see 21 likes. I got a lot of instrumentals. I got some new instrumentals that I ain't played yet. So let me know. We could be in here writing raps and freestyle. I need to get those likes up, man. Please get those likes up. Let's get those likes up. Have you done a video on a virtual business address? No, I haven't. And I probably won't ever do one because my content is more structured around being in the actual business. A virtual business address, that's something for someone who's looking to set up their LLC or their S corp, and they don't want to put their address, right? So I don't really talk about setting up and structuring your business. I may throw it in, I may mention it from time to time, but my content is structured around structuring a business. So a virtual address and stuff like that, no, I'll never make a video about that. I wouldn't even talk about that. Is it best to get a box truck from Penske or Craigslist for a first box truck owner operator? And this is something I actually just dropped a video about an hour or two ago, where I was talking to a guy, a subscriber who is in the process of buying a truck from Enterprise. So you might want to go watch that video. There's a lot of valuable information in that video. Now, and here's the thing. The way I would buy a truck, a lot of people would be scared to buy a truck the way I would buy a truck. Granted, I haven't purchased a truck in 10 years. But when I was building my fleet back then, I went to a used truck dealer who bought trucks from the budget auction. All right, so this is a truck dealer. They sold like school buses, passenger buses, like those Greyhound buses. They sold box trucks. They sold vans. They sold fleet vehicles. But this particular guy who owned this dealership, he as far as the box trucks and the vans are concerned, he would go to the budget auctions and he would purchase large amounts of trucks and vans. Me personally, if I were looking to purchase a truck right now, understanding the business, understanding that the margins are small, understanding that with the times that we're living in, employment is hard to come by. In order to find people and bring them in, and in order to keep them, you have to pay them handsomely, which cuts more into the profit margins. So I would want to make my initial cost coming in as cheap as possible. Now, some people are afraid of purchasing trucks that have a little age on them, or trucks from certain markets, or trucks from independent, owners, private owners. Some people want, I'd rather go to Ryder, I'd rather go to Penske, I'd rather go to Enterprise. These are fleet owned and fleet maintained. But because of that, you get a higher sticker price, right? To answer that question, I think whatever the person who's seeking to buy a truck, whatever they feel comfortable with, all right, as far as where they buy the truck from. You want to make sure you buy something that's affordable. You want to make sure that your initial cost is as low as possible. Me personally, I'd rather go to a small independent truck dealer, because I'm taking my mechanic with me. I'm taking a mechanic with me. I'm paying for that mechanic for the day, right? And I'm spending the day there. I'm there when they open. I'm there when they close. Every single truck that I bought used, it was the whole day. The whole day. We looked at every single truck. If they had 20 box trucks on the lot that particular day, then we looked at damn near half of them. 20 box trucks, you're not going to get a chance to look and test all of them from 9 to 5. But we looked at as many as we could, and out of all the ones that we pulled out, or we had them pull out for us to look at, that we test drove, that the mechanic crawled up under there, that he crawled up under the hood. We looked all the aesthetics of the trucks. I never really cared about that when I was purchasing a truck. Little rips in the seats here, little chips in the back on the like. I don't care about that stuff. I care about what's under that hood and what's under the truck. Mostly the powertrain, the engine, and the transmission. All right, we spend the whole day there. So I'm taking a mechanic. So once my mechanic gives me the green, out of, let's say we looked at 5, these 2 I'm filling. It's a toss up on either one. They pretty much both the same to me. They found issues with the other 3. All right, which one of these 2 you want to go with, Mark? All right. So I have somebody that is certified and that I feel comfortable with taking and their advice, right? And I did that from the first truck I bought to the last truck I bought, the used trucks, not the 2 new ones, right? And I never had an issue. The second truck I ever bought had electrical issues, but that was just something that I just got fixed. The junction box was bad, and it wasn't that the junction box was bad. The wires were, kind of funny, so they just, straightened up the wires, put some black electrical tape around it, and it was fine after that. It was just an issue with the junction box. But every other truck that I bought used, I picked good trucks because I took a mechanic and we spent the day looking at every single truck, test driving every single truck, rough housing every single truck. So me personally, I'm looking for the best bang. I don't care about Enterprise, Penske, or none of those. I don't care that so I'm looking for the best buck. I want to get the cheapest truck that's going to give me the longest lifespan. I'm looking for the most inexpensive truck that's going to give me the longest lifespan. I'm looking to keep my costs down. I feel comfortable. I'm in a market. I have a mechanic, Jaime, as a truck repair place. The labor cost there is still only $95 an hour. So I don't really worry about those things because I understand I've been in the space long enough to know that eventually something is going to happen, right? Something is going to happen, all right? So whatever you feel comfortable with, me, I feel comfortable getting the least expensive truck that's going to get me the biggest bang for my buck, and that's going to take me the farthest without breaking down, and it's going to cost me the least amount of money. So if you find a truck on Craigslist and you take a mechanic and you trust this mechanic and this mechanic is certified, then go for it. If you go, it's the same thing when you go to Penske. People buy lemons. Somebody DM me today, or actually in the comments for the video that I put out an hour ago, said they bought a lemon from Penske. You go look in the comments. Somebody was in the live the other day and said they got something from Penske. Ever since I've been on YouTube, people have always told me they bought something from Penske, Enterprise, or Ryder that, just wasn't a good truck. Lemons. They had to sue them. They had to fight to get their money back, or they didn't get their money back. They paying on a truck where the engine blew up. So it's the same way whether you buy something from a private owner or a rental company. It's best to take a mechanic. That was a long answer. I probably wasted 10 minutes on that answer. I owe y'all 5 minutes. What's Big and Bulky? Big and Bulky is a final mile division where you're delivering furniture and appliances. So you got final mile curbside, which is palletized freight that either goes to the curb. If you're a nice person, they got an attached garage. You could drop it in the garage or to like a dock. So it's no lifting involved. Everything is on a pallet. You just need your lift gate and your pallet jack. Big and Bulky is like when you go to Best Buy or Home Depot and you order that washer and that dryer or that refrigerator, that contractor company that comes and delivers it 4 days later or 5 days later, and you stay on a second floor condo building with no elevator. That's Big and Bulky. Them guys that got to lift that refrigerator up them 2 flights of stairs, or that stackable washer and dryer, or you ordered that new sofa, that sleeper sofa, from whatever the furniture, so Bob's Furniture, and they got to carry it up 3 flights of stairs to your lofted attic. You know what I'm saying? That's Big and Bulky, furniture and appliance delivery. Would it be okay to start at the final mile delivery by using? You're not going to find the load board is for OTR middle mile. All right, let's because we might have a lot of new people in here. The load board is OTR middle mile. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, y'all. Let's get that like. Let's get them likes up. OTR middle mile is where you go. You find loads for OTR middle mile on the load board. Big and Bulky and curbside is a dedicated lane. It's dedicated. You don't have to go on the load board every day looking for this. You apply with the company. They say, okay, we're going to bring you on. The contract we service is Home Depot, and it's all appliances. All right, this is a 6-day-a-week contract. Load out is at 5:30 a.m. Takes an average contractor somewhere between 10 to 14 hours to get their route done, depending on how many stops they have. So every day, Monday through Saturday, when you go to that warehouse, you're going to be delivering Home Depot appliances. You don't know what type of appliance because it's going to vary from day to day depending on who bought what, right? You don't know how many stops you're going to have, but what you do know is Monday through Saturday, when you go to the warehouse, you're going to be doing deliveries and it's going to be from Home Depot, and it's going to be from Monday through Saturday, and you're going to get paid $50 a stop. It's dedicated. Whereas Middle Mile OTR, it's not dedicated. You got to find your loads. Okay, I live in Chicago. I just found a load going from Chicago. This is one. I'm just doing one pick, one drop, just to make it the example easy. Don't nobody jump down my throat. Man, Mark, that's one pick, one drop. You supposed to be doing partials. So anyway, you go on the load board. You find a load going from Chicago to Houston. All right, and then you got to find a load if you're trying to come back from Texas somewhere, bringing you back up this way. Now, if you're a real trucker, you're going to find a load once you get down there that's somewhere down there in that area that's going to take you somewhere else. You ain't worried about coming. You looking for the biggest bang for your buck, the highest paying loads going the less amount of miles, or the highest paying loads going wherever it's going. You looking to make money, all right? But the point that I'm trying to make is you're constantly looking. You got to stay on that load board. You got to find loads. Even if you're doing partials, you got to stay on that load board. You got to piece loads together, and you're constantly doing that every week. You have to go out and find the work. Whereas Final Mile, you just you sign on with a company, you get on board with a company, and it's dedicated. We're doing Lowe's. It's a Monday through Friday contract. We're doing IKEA. This is a 7-day-a-week contract. We're doing Home Depot. This is a 6-day-a-week contract. We're doing Bob. This is a 6-day-a-week contract. We're doing Mattress Firm. This is a 7-day-a-week contract. Every day, you're going to be delivering mattresses. You just don't know how many stops you're going to have from day to day, and where exactly you're going, or what particular, let's say, mattresses you're going to be delivering that day. But 7 days a week, you're going to be delivering mattresses. You don't have to look for work. It's there for you, right? You're going to be delivering them. That's the difference. Pippi said, I guess the Sea Express, yeah, you have to go through those videos. Looking for Final Mile in Connecticut. Go through my content and just look at a lot of the companies that I talk about, a lot of the companies that I discuss, and just start write those companies down. Or as you looking at the videos and you see me name a company, hit the pause on the video, open up a different screen, and Google that company in your area. See where they're at. Write the address down. Give them a call. Or go to Indeed, search them on Indeed, see if they're hiring. Just do your due diligence. I've laid out everything for you. So I've given you everything as far as the companies, how to start, how to go about it, what to do when you get in there, how to leverage yourself. All the content is there. Only thing you gotta do is watch the content, get the companies, and then do a little due diligence yourself, and you should be straight. So just look at my content, pull some of those companies out, and start doing some Google searches. Let's see here. Where do we leave off at? We're going down the line. What's the clock? What's the ticker? 46 minutes? I think I owe y'all an extra 5 minutes. Any experience with Poster Truck and Amazon? Never done Amazon. My content is around the moving industry and Final Mile. Oh yeah, Scranton. What was the question about Scranton? What was the question? My biggest concern, my area, not a lot of opportunity in Scranton, PA. Oh, let me pull up a map. Let me see where Scranton, PA is. PA map. Let's share my screen. Let me move this out the way. So this is Scranton, PA. Wait, where is Scranton? This is North Scranton. This is Scranton. So This is y'all right here. So where is the nearest major town? It will be Allentown, and then Philadelphia will be way down here. All right, let's look at the population. Let's look at the population real quick. All right. So it's a small market, only 75,000 people. Um, so you know, let's T Force. Hmm. T Force. So I'm only going to do one company because there's other people that want to ask questions. But this is how you would start the search. You would start with the companies that I talk about, and then you would go to Google. All right, you're in Scranton, so I put in T Force, and I put in just Pennsylvania, so it will pop up all the T Force locations in Pennsylvania. Now, judging from this map, where is Scranton at? That's Pittsburgh. Where's Philly at? All right, hold on. Where is Philadelphia? Philly gotta be big. It should be jumping out at me. Why isn't it jumping out at me? That's Pittsburgh. Where is Philly? Where is Philly? Well, it's a T Force in Pittsburgh. I'm trying to find Philly so I can find Scranton. I saw Philadelphia was south of Scranton, but I don't know why Philadelphia isn't highlighted. It's a big city. That's Cleveland. It should be somewhere over in here, somewhere. Hold on, man. All right, that's Scranton, Allentown, Philadelphia. So where's Pittsburgh? I'm trying to see where you at. Oh, Pittsburgh, way over there. So you more closer to Allentown, New York. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. I hate to be defeated. I'm trying to find this. So, all right, Allentown right here. All right. So Allentown is probably your closest. No, that's Transforce. UPS Freight, Philadelphia. So T Force in Philadelphia. So Scranton was somewhere up in here. Scranton is somewhere up in here. Oh, here you go. Ain't nothing up there. Ain't nothing up there. This is you way up here. All right, so we're gonna do one more company for you. Let's say Capstone. I'm just making something up. No, let's just put Scranton in. Now it's a Capstone. No, logistics. Hold on. Hmm. Yeah, man, you in one of those markets, man. I can't spend too much time, doing your research, but basically that's what you need to do. You need to go through my videos, look through a lot of the companies that I talk about, and just start Googling the ones in your area closest to you. I mean, if there's nothing in your area, then there's nothing in your area, man. And that's just the unfortunate thing. Not everybody is going to be able to do like Amazon Relay. Not everybody is going to be able to do Final Mile, curbside, or big and bulky. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're in just a small market and there's no logistics companies next to you. And even if you are in a small market and there is a logistics company next to you, your route is going to be like just so low density. Your stops are going to be miles and miles apart. So it's definitely not going to be efficient. It's just like I tell people who are in small markets, I like to call it middle America. The only option for you may be OTR middle mile. If there's no Amazon near you, if there's no 3PL companies near you, then either you're gonna have to relocate, to be where the work is, where the business is. If that's what you want to do, you're gonna have to relocate. If relocating is out of the question, the only other option that you have to enter into this box truck industry is OTR, because you can go wherever you want to go. You take the show on the road. So, hit that like button too as you come on in. Hit that like button. There's a Chevy 3500 Express with a 16-foot box acceptable to these final mile carriers. If they're asking if they're onboarding for 16-foot box trucks, then yeah, 16-foot box truck is a 16-foot box. They don't really care what's pulling it. They're not gonna say, oh yeah, we're looking for 16-foot box truck owner operators, but we only want 16-foot box truck owner operators who have a Ford Cutaway or a GMC Cutaway or a Ram Cutaway. They don't really care about the Cutaway. They care about the box. Is the box 16 feet? Is it clean? Is it presentable? There's no holes in it. When it rains, the roof ain't leaking. They don't care about none of it. They don't care about the Cutaway. They care about the box. Is it 16 feet? So yeah, if you got a 3500 G35 Express, 16 footer, then and they're calling for 16-foot box trucks, then yeah, they'll accept it. Make sure I didn't miss nothing. Let me see where we at. We got 41. We got 44 likes. Cool. Good evening. How you doing? Grace, what up? I know someone. Hold on. I know someone who just bought a Penske truck. It's in the shop now. Bad transmission. Penske replacing it. Yeah. So here's the thing. Y'all need to go watch that video that I just dropped. I did like a real late night live Friday night. Like we was on there like 2 a.m. And I had just about people in there that night that's in here right now. And there was a pop-up too. Here's the thing about buying a truck after the pandemic. Y'all need to go watch that video I just dropped earlier, because I dropped some gems in that video when I was talking to that gentleman about the truck he's in the process of buying. What y'all gotta understand is when you're buying a truck after this pandemic, you gotta we're business people here. Think. We were in a pandemic. Anybody that tried to enter into the box truck space during the pandemic that tried to rent a truck couldn't rent a truck. Why? Because there were no trucks available. Trucks, every single rental company was out of trucks, right? Because there was an infusion of people getting into the space, right? Because there was an infusion of capital that went out to American citizens, right? As far as stimulus, and everybody wanted to be a business owner, right? The easiest way to get in was by renting a truck. And that's what everybody did. It sent the cost of rentals up, so on and so forth. So everybody was renting a truck. If you found a truck, you had people that were flying across country to pick up their truck so they can get into the box truck game, right? Exactly. So people were flying across the country to get their trucks, which means they had to drive that truck back across the country to get back to their home market to run what most people were running at that time, which was Amazon Relay. Right? A lot of people were running Amazon Relay. A lot of people were doing OTR. All right. Now, as the pandemic began to progress, fuel went up, and while fuel went up, there was a correction going on simultaneously as well that had started, but everyone was distracted by the fuel. All right. The market started to correct itself. This started to happen sometime last year, around this time a little bit earlier. And then as we got closer and closer to holiday season, it continued on and it continued on. And then even after holiday season, up until now, right? A lot of people are complaining rates are trash, blah, blah, Skippy, whatever, right? So during that transition of the market correcting themselves, you had people that came into the space that rented box trucks at egregious rates, right? Very inflated rates, right? But they really didn't feel those inflated rates. Why? Because the spot market was paying inflated rates. Amazon was paying inflated rates as well. Why? Because supply and demand. Demand was high, right? So the rates rose with the demand. The rates rose with the demand, right? So people were, their initial investment was high, but they really didn't feel that it was high. They didn't know it was high because a lot of people that entered during that time were ignorant, but they didn't feel it, right? Because they didn't feel that they entered high because the rates were egregious. The rates were really, really high, right? Now, as the rates started to come down, that initial cost to come in stayed the same. See, if you sign a contract with Ryder and say, man, you're gonna pay $2,500 a month, a week rather, because some people were paying $2,500 a week. All right. You're paying $2,500 a week and you're running at $8, $9, $10 a mile. You don't really feel that $25 a week, right? You going up, you making money. But when the market started to correct itself, those rates start to slowly come down, but you still got to pay that $2,500 a week. So what happened? Those rates continued to go down. So guess what? When Ryder and Enterprise and Budget and Penske was hitting those cards every week, those cards, it went from hitting that card to take that weekly money out and that money being there to hitting that card and getting declines. Man, what's up, man? The card declined. Yeah. Try it again Monday. Yeah. Try it again Tuesday. Yeah. Try it again Wednesday. To ring. Sorry, the caller you answered has a voicemail box that's not set up yet. Call again the next day. Sorry, the caller that you call has a voicemail box that's not set up yet. Why? Because these guys weren't making money anymore. The cost to run the business was high and the rates were low, so they weren't making enough money to pay the bills. So they stopped answering the phone. And instead of doing the right thing and just turning the truck in, these guys were still showing up at Amazon running loads, still running OTR, right? They knew daytime was coming. They knew they was running on the lam now, but now they trying to get as much out of it as they can. It was already a hustle to them because they came in talking about, I'm going to get in the box truck game. But now it really is a game. It's a game on let me stack up and make as much money as I can before they come take this truck. You heard about a lot of trucks being found on the side of the road, a lot of trucks being stripped. A lot of these guys were running on the lam and they were not bringing the trucks in for maintenance. That was another thing. Yeah, the truck should be at about 10,000 miles. What's the miles? Yeah, I'm at 50,000. All right, so the truck is due for maintenance. It was actually due 2,000 miles ago. We've been trying to get in contact with you. You've been paying, but, we need you to bring the truck in for maintenance. Well, when can you bring it in? Well, man, I'm running right now, man. Man, how long y'all going? Man, it's got to come in for maintenance. A lot of guys weren't bringing the trucks in for maintenance. Some of the companies required you to bring the truck to where you picked it up from. A lot of people don't understand the way this rental truck thing works. I used to be a U-Haul dealer. You have in-town local trucks and you have one-way trucks. If you flew across the country to pick up a truck and they gave you a local truck and you drove it back across the country to do whatever it is in your market or run OTR or run Amazon in your market, when it's time for that truck to do a PM, where you pick that truck up from, they have to do it. I had a subscriber that flew to California from Ohio, right, to pick up a truck, drove 2,500 miles back to Ohio to only when he got to 7,500 miles, they came calling him. And they told him he needed to drive that truck back to California. He drove it back to California. He was done. He only lasted in the space a month. He blew 2,500 miles driving it from California back to Ohio. Why couldn't he take it to a Penske or Ryder in that market? Because that Penske truck belonged to that California Penske market. Penske places in Ohio weren't going to service that truck because they didn't own that truck. Penske of California owned that truck, and their marketing dollars and their budget needed to pay for the maintenance on that truck. So he had to drive it back across country. And he said, well, you know what? I'm just done. He lasted 1 month because of that. But you had guys that didn't do the right thing. They were getting called to bring these trucks in for maintenance, and they weren't. This is why the box truck rental business changed. This is why they started getting strict. It was a collaboration of a bunch of things that just, people entering into the space that just didn't have the right business mindset, people not paying their bill. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't run this box truck rental business the way they used to run it back when I was renting trucks. You could just go in, get your car. I'm with so-and-so trucking. Okay, we're going to create a profile. What's the name of your company? So-and-so trucking. They'll put so-and-so trucking in. They wouldn't ask you for your LLC. They didn't ask you for nothing. They just put so-and-so trucking in. All right, how you going to pay? It's going to be $500 a week. That's going to include 1,500 free miles, and each additional mile is going to be 12 cents a mile. We're going to put 500 additional miles on here to authorize it. So you're going to order 500 plus 12 cents a mile times 500, and then you'll get that back. We're going to give you 1,500 miles. I'm going to call you next Friday when it's time to rewrite the contract. Let me know how many miles you got. If you didn't go over the 1,500 miles, we're going to rewrite the contract for $500 the following week, and we're going to roll you over a new 1,500 miles. It was simple as that. Next Friday, Julie would call, how's your truck? How many miles on the truck, Mark? 50,000. All right, so you didn't go over to 1,500. Is it okay if I authorize your card for 450 or 500, whatever it was? Go ahead. All right, Mark, talk to you next Friday. That's how simple it was. But because of people not bringing the trucks back for maintenance, for PM, because they might not been bringing them back, not because, a lot of guys weren't bringing them back because they was running. And they knew once they brought that truck, that was another thing. They knew once they brought that truck back, they didn't know if they was going to get in that. They were scared that they weren't going to get the truck back. So the point that I'm trying to make, because I need to make it quick because I'm on a timer, is that a lot of the rental trucks during the pandemic got ran into the ground. They weren't bringing the trucks in for maintenance when they were supposed to. There was a lot of trucks on the lam. Remember, a lot of people's cards were getting declined, and all these rental truck companies were reporting a lot of trucks stolen. The people who've been around remember what I'm talking about. Newcomers that's looking to get into the space, and y'all looking, you need to keep this in mind. This is why you need to take a mechanic. This is why it's hard to rent a truck now. All of those reasons are why these box truck rental companies changed their rules. It made it harder. They saw that the industry had changed. They saw that the mindset of the people that were coming into the box truck space were of a different mindset. They weren't of a business mindset. So they had to adapt and change with it. And in their situation, they had to make the protocols to renting a truck stricter. So be careful. Just because you're going to Penske, just because you're going to Ryder, just because you're going to Enterprise, just because you're going to Budget, it's different going to these places to purchase a used truck post-pandemic than it was pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic, you had civilized people renting trucks. They were bringing the trucks in to have them maintained. The rental truck companies had an abundance of trucks. They'll say, you know what? We need to bring that truck in. We're finna sell this truck. It's at 200,000 miles. Bring that truck in. We're going to swap you out. They will swap you out. Or you know what? Bring this truck in for maintenance, and we're going to swap you out. I remember because we would rent in the summertime during moving season. I would rent a couple extra trucks just for overflow, right? So boom, when those trucks would hit certain mile points or milestones or whatever, Julie would call me and say, "Hey, Mark, we need to swap that truck out." She would bring the truck. She would drive the new truck. We would swap all the equipment out onto the new truck, and then she would take the truck back. I didn't even have to send nobody to swap the truck. They would bring the truck to me. So the point that I'm trying to make, purchasing a truck from a rental truck company after a pandemic versus purchasing a used truck from a rental truck company prior to the pandemic it's different. The trucks that were rented during the pandemic were ran into the ground. And this is why you hear people that are buying these used trucks from Penske. Look at the comments in the video I put up early. Look at the comments in the chat here. This is why. I spent too much time on that. I gotta give y'all 10 minutes back, so I gotta stay on an extra 15 minutes. Penske just doesn't do good work with their equipment at all. They drag their feet too much. We got 55 in here. We got 50 likes. Let's see if we can get 5 more likes. Hit that like button. Come on in. Let me know you're checking in front. Let's get those questions in. You can do curbside, final mile, solo, one man, one truck. Okay, you answered somebody else's question. Also, y'all talking to somebody else. Do you have any of your people in LA doing final mile curbside? If so, what kind of rates are they getting? Thanks again, Mark. Anybody in here that's doing curbside final mile, can y'all put y'all rates in the chat for JoJo? Anybody here on the West Coast, period? All my West Coast people that's in here that's doing curbside, a big and bulky final mile, can y'all help JoJo out and put y'all rates in the chat? Hey, JoJo, you in LA, the cost of living is high. So the rates are going to be higher there than they would be in small markets. I can tell you that for sure. Let me see. Okay. Ibrahim saying there's a T-Force in New Jersey. I don't know how close New Jersey is to Scranton, PA. I don't even know where Scranton, PA is. So if Jersey is close to Scranton, then JoJo, they're saying that there's a T-Force in Jersey. So you might want to look in Jersey. I don't know if that's Scranton, Jersey. I don't know. But this is where this is where you got to do your own research. I can tell you what companies exist. I can tell you how to get started. I can tell you how to, maneuver through the industry to be successful. But these small little things, hey, Mark, is so and so in my market? These are things you can do on your own. You know what I'm saying? What I'm here for is to help you become successful using my 14 years of experience, so you don't have to make some of the mistakes. I can point you in the right direction. I can guide you, to success. But like the content is there. I put the content out. All you gotta do is look at the content and just take that content and then go to this great thing that was started back in the 90s by these two guys that were very, very smart, called Google. You go over to Google and then you put that information in there and then you find what's in your area. It may not be some of these bigger companies. It may be some smaller regional companies that I don't know about. There's a lot of regional final mile companies as well that I don't know about because I'm not in every region. I'm in Chicago. I know about the smaller regional companies in my market. I know some of the regional companies, but I don't know all of them. So if you're in a small market, you need to see if there's some small regional contracts. You need to go to let's see. Let's see some. Let's see. All right, so look. So look, I just put in box truck owner operator Scranton. These are some things that are available, I guess, in or near or around your market. I'm not familiar with your market, so I don't know if Wilkes Barre, PA is, but let's say this company. I don't know if this is an independent company, or I don't know if this is just a regional company. Fast Transit LLC is a small business in Wilkes. We are looking for an owner operator willing to cover the road. Must have your own truck. 24 to 26 for box truck, 9 CDL. I guess this is an OTR. I'm looking for On our box truck. Okay, on demand delivery. Here's Freight. They're looking for stuff in your market. So Freight is an app. They're looking for stuff in your market. AIT Worldwide is Select Express. All right. Rooted Work Home Furnishings 26-foot box truck. I don't know if Oliphant, PA is near you, but here's an opportunity with Select Express. So you can do it. Like all this stuff is. See how simple I did that. This is what you do. You take the content that I have, and you go out and make it happen. Jay Black, what's good? What's good? What's good? Danny says in Amazon, 40 minutes from him in Orlando. That's what's up. All right. So, hey, people in the chat saying where you at, JoJo, you gonna have to go to Philly. No, not JoJo. Who was in Scranton? Whoever that was that's in Scranton, they saying Jersey, man. Jersey may be your better option. Jersey may be your better option. Mark, I took your advice and set up a third-party inspector for Tuesday. I'm flying down Tuesday morning to drive it and be present for the inspection. That's what's up, man. I'm glad you took my advice. You purchasing you're making a big straw purchase. Damn, if after you finance it, you're gonna be well over 40 grand. All right, that's not something that you want to buy sight unseen. Even if you have no mechanical experience, you don't know what you're looking for. That's why you got the inspector there, and you can be there looking over the inspector's shoulder, and that way you can have a conversation with the inspector. They're still going to do the report for you, but you getting that 50, 60 page report and then still just looking at the report, like not understand what you're looking at, but being there to ask questions is different. Plus you get to drive it. You get to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Even though you don't know quite what you're looking for, you can feel if the wheel is shaking. Then you know, man, is it some tie rods? Is it a ball joints or whatever that makes your wheel shake? Is the tires bad? The point is, you can be there and you can drive it and you can tell if something feels off. And if something feels off, like my mom always say, go with your first mind. If your first mind is telling you this ain't the truck for me, then hop your butt back on the plane and go back to Denver. The point I'm trying to make is over $40,000. You want to be there. You want to touch it. You want to feel it. You want to caress it. You want to indulge in it. And you don't want to spend that type of money sight unseen. It's just not smart business. But so I'm glad you took my advice. Hey Mark, how are you? What's going on? What's going on? Do you sell a business plan for moving and how to scale like you did, how to get customers and real leads? Thank you. No, I do not sell a business plan for moving, but a coaching session, I can coach you and walk you through how I started and how I was able to scale and my target market, and things like that. So I don't have a business plan just for moving, but I can coach you in the right direction in a coaching session. Big fan. What up, Mark? Love the content. Appreciate you. Thanks for checking in. Just starting in the DC area. Congratulations. Shout out to all the people who are just entering into the business. Any suggestions for finding good dispatchers for OTR other than trial and error? Referrals. Talk to people that are in the space and see if you can get a referral. If someone's refers somebody to you, then that means they do good business. The person's going to refer somebody to you that they do business with that does good business. Other than that, I don't refer dispatchers. But my suggestion to you, finding this good dispatcher, I would try to seek some people, if you know anybody in the industry already, try to get a referral for one. Have you ever heard of Victoria Logistics? Yes, I have. I see them on Indeed. Mark is giving the blueprint. You guys have to build. Thank you, Pippi. Shout out to Pippi. Mark, if you had 200 flyers for your moving business, what would you do? Um, I would take them to storage facilities. People aren't too keen. The new generation, just the way the world has gone, is just not too keen to picking up a flyer and actually looking at it. If I was going to do advertising, if I was going to invest money, I wouldn't invest it into print advertising. I invested more into digital advertising via like Facebook or Instagram, because if a person is searching movers, Facebook's algorithm, because they're monitoring what you're searching in the background all the time, you're going to start seeing ads from moving companies. So when you're paying Facebook for those ad dollars, they're not just targeting just anybody. They're targeting people that have recently or currently searching for movers. So 9 times out of 10, that ad that's going to show up, the ad that they're going to direct to a specific person, is more than likely looking for movers. All right. So digital ad is what I would go. But if I did have 200 flyers just laying around, I would take them to storage facilities, because that's more of a customer who is going in, let's say renting a storage unit, and then they see the board with the plugger, or they usually ask, "Hey, do you guys know any movers?" And then they can point them to that board, and your flyer will be on there. Another thing for movers, what I used to do, here's a gem too for professional cheap movers. I would go around to as many storage facilities as I could, and I would talk to the storage manager and say, "Look, for everybody that asks, do you know any movers? Refer them to me." And each person that we move either into this storage facility or out of this storage facility that you refer, I'll give you $50. So, so I would take them to storage facilities, because those people are moving, for sure moving, versus you taking it to apartment buildings, leaving them in the hallway. Take them to the storage facility, because people that are coming there to either move in there or move out. So if that person takes that flyer off that board, that's a real customer. That's an organic customer. Yep. See, Zupchuck already knew. He already knew what I was gonna say. Shout out to all my subscribers, man. Shout out to my MGMs, man. My MGMs, man, they've been watching so long, they already got the blueprint. They can answer the question before I can answer it. Can I drop the link? Yeah, I thought I dropped it earlier, but I'll drop it again. There go the linkage. I forgot I should have dropped it again. I'm gonna have to reset the timer, because I rambled on. I rambled on for some. Where is it at? 12 minutes. Let's set it to. Let me reset this timer. Let me put up a new timer. Because I rambled. I'll give y'all 45 more minutes. Set that new timer. Let me move that to this corner here. Bet. All right, let's go. All right, so there go the link. There go the link. Kevin, what I was told they do, but both. That's why I asked Mark. I don't really see much besides what stated they told me there every market to me. So, Mark, how much was your workers' comp unemployment insurance per employee? That's something I can't answer that on the fly. I would have to go through all the paperwork to see. Workers' compensation is expensive. For the most part, I didn't use workers' compensation. In the state of Illinois, it's required, but it's not enforced. So if you look at companies here for onboarding, they won't say workers' comp. So I only had workers' comp, I think, for one contract ever. For the most part, never used workers' comp. Never had to get it. And that was another reason I walked away from XPO too, because that was one of the requirements once they acquired the company that we was running IKEA through, which was Urban Express. After we left Dynamics, after they lost it to Dynamics, Urban Express took it over. We went over to Urban Express, and then XPO bought Urban Express, and then we was running for XPO for a while. But then once they transitioned everything into their way of doing things outside of the $3 million umbrella, they wanted me to add on top of all the other insurances that I had. They also wanted me to add workers' comp, and I it just wasn't worth it. Pay top dollar for my market in Final Mile. A few drivers currently under another contractor expressing their interest in driving for me. Is there a workaround as long as they haven't signed a non-compete? Pay top dollar for my market in Final Mile. A few drivers currently under another contractor are expressing their interest in driving. A few drivers currently under another contractor. If you're in a facility and they're in that facility driving for someone else, 9 times out of 10, there's a non-compete somewhere in there. There may be a non-compete with their IC, or there may be a non-compete. Now, if there's a non-compete between the contractor, let's say the master contractor, and the logistics company, then that holds the same weight as if there is a non-compete between the driver and the master contractor that they're working for. So if I work for you and I leave you and I want to go work for Pippi, but Pippi has a non-compete with the logistics company, that means the logistics company can't use anybody that was running for her, through that company either. So you have to ask them, did they sign a non-compete? You got to ask them, did they sign a non-compete? And then you would have to ask the logistics company, or you run for that logistics company too. You need to go through your paperwork, because if you have a non-compete with them, then that means they have a non-compete. And then if you have a non-compete with that logistics question, that pretty much answers your question. I figure you heard I worded that wrong. Have you or any of the people you chop it up with ever had any dealings with Victor? I've never had any dealings with him, but I heard of them. Yeah, they're not in my market, so I wouldn't have had any dealings with them either. They're not in this market. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I see them posting in the Southeast, if I'm not mistaken. There go the link. Somebody wanted the link. Hey, Zup, it's DeWalt. Didn't you want me to drop the link? I dropped it. Right, you want me to drop the link, right? I dropped it. Oh, he's trying to get on. Yeah, so any other questions? Because I added a few more minutes because I was rambling. So I wanted to make up for questions. I didn't want to take away the time for me rambling from questions that could be asked and answered. So I guess it's DeWalt finna pop up. So you said they lowering rates in Oklahoma City market for what? For Final Mile? What you doing? Amazon, Final Mile? What? What are you working on? Any more questions before local stop pay only $22.60 a stop now? Yeah, that's low from $31. Yeah. See, Oklahoma is one of those markets where it's just, I don't know what city you're in. Oh, Home Depot. Yeah, that's low. I know people that's making anywhere from $43 to $57 a stop. So yeah, $22. That's really, really, really low. Really, really, really low. Really, really, really low. Really, really, really low. So yeah, $22 a stop. Yeah, that's low. I don't know what else to say. Y'all give me about 10 seconds. I need to go turn the AC on. It's cold. It's hot in here. Hold on. All right, I'm back. All right, so shout out to Kobe. What's going on? You doing paperwork for Lowe's? They paying 57. Yeah, I would definitely make that switch. 22 is very, very low. It's very, very low. So especially if they lowered you like from 31. 31 is low, in comparison to other markets. And if they dropped you to 22, yeah, you want to get out of there. If I hire a driver, is it savvy to pay him cash as a 1099 like your former employee? I never pay my employees cash. The former employee who you talking about, Rob, I never paid Rob cash. Everybody that has ever worked for me has either been a 1099 or a W-2. So cash, you don't want to pay nobody cash. You got to do taxes. You don't want to get in trouble, especially if you're running them through a logistics company. You want to have everybody on the books. Everybody on the books. Rob said, "Oh, you said Rob said he paid that way." So I can't like how other people run their stuff. I can't really. If I hire a driver, is it savvy to pay him cash? Here's the thing. I've always paid people on paper. You know what I'm saying? You would have to, if the let's answer it this way. Let's take the 1099 equation. If they're driving your truck, you're paying the fuel, all the costs that are associated with running your business, if you're paying those costs, then technically you give them a W-4 form when they sign on with you, when you hire them, and then at the end of the year they get a W-2 form and they pay taxes. And you pay taxes on them. You pay quarterly taxes on them in the form of unemployment, Social Security, Medicaid, and then you pay your taxes every year. All right, so that answers that one question. Two, that answers pretty much the scope. They're not a 1099 employee. They're an employee because they work for you. So you want to give them a W-4 form, and you want to treat them like an employee. I'm not going to advise you to do anything, that's, not lawful. You know what I'm saying? So the way Rob paid his employees, that's how he paid his employees. You know what I'm saying? I can't really, I'm thinking about getting an EV box truck. Thoughts? That's the first time somebody's ever asked me that question. What market are you in? Have you ever driven an EV car? Do you know how EV works? What market are you in? From actually having and owning driving an EV car, depending on your market, from an owner of an EV car, you may deal with some form of range issues at some point. If you're in a cold market, the battery is just like any other battery. The colder it is, the quicker and the faster that battery is going to drain. Where are you going to charge the thing at? what if they send you on a route that's a nice little distance? How long is it going to take to charge it up? Like, me personally, I wouldn't get an EV box truck. I wouldn't. It's too risky. It's too risky, man. The infrastructure isn't there yet. It's a lot of driving, and it's just too risky, man. I wouldn't. I'm not even gonna go into it. It's just too risky. Trust me. I drive a Tesla, and I can tell you stories. It's too risky. I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. The infrastructure isn't there yet. Yo,
Yes, sir. What's the dilly?
how you doing?
Man, I'm all right, man. How are you, good sir?
And Lord is continuously blessing me.
I hear you. I hear you. So, look, question for you. Now, mind you, I was doing that Staples route, but what I never mentioned was I didn't go directly through Watco. What I did was go through somebody who actually had a route already because he made it sound like it was more lucrative. Long story short, it wasn't. So I
Wait,
ended up
wait, wait,
talking
wait,
to
wait, wait, wait. Who made it sound like it was more lucrative? I know I
the
didn't tell you that.
gentleman. No, the gentleman who purchased the lane. You dig what
So
I'm saying?
you were running Waco through somebody else.
Yes, through another company.
But why would you think that was more lucrative? Because that's one more person who's eating off the plate before the money gets to you.
From what he had on paper, compared to what is it like maybe $1 something a case and XYZ, right? So long story short, I ended up chalking it because the route that they had me on, man, when I say it was out the way and everything was spaced apart, I did that for like 2 weeks and I kept asking them, like, look, man, like what we gonna do about these routes? But if I went to one location and that was the end of it. I went somewhere and when I say this neighborhood was sus as hell, I'm like, oh hell no. I'm like, I'm not doing this route like ever again, like period. So I told the warehouse supervisor there, I'm like, man, don't send me on this route no more. Like, I didn't even feel safe. It was like that in one of them areas. I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about our people. It was just one of them demographics. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So my question is this: from what we talked about before, once do I need to actually acquire a lane as if I'm going to physically be working in there before I decide to put somebody in my sprinter? Or like, how do I go about doing it to say, hey, and then let them know, hey, I do have a driver and this is going to be the driver. Obviously, I'm going to train them and everything first. But is that the right way to approach that? Just basically go in like I want the lane myself.
So so you go in and you gonna have to apply, and you're gonna have to do a background, and your driver gonna have to do a background. So they're gonna have a profile on you as the contractor, and then them as your employee. You see what I'm saying? So you gonna
Gotcha.
go in, you gonna apply. They're gonna have a profile on you as the contractor. They're gonna background check you and do everything with you, and then you're gonna have your employee. The employee gonna have
Okay.
a profile. They're gonna background him. So you're the contractor. They're gonna pay you, but he's the person that's running the route, so they got to know who he is as well.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Now I know one potential driver that I do have. He does have shit. Basically a recent F. He's fresh out for the most part. So shit is kind of like ironic. Like, yeah, he's fresh out. You know what I mean? So I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking about him, but at the same time, I have two other people once I switch into the curbs, I find them out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one with the record as well. Um, actually, two people who are basically damn near fresh out, home within probably like 6 months. It's not a violent offense. Um, it's not something I want to say live right now, but it's not a violent offense at all. Nothing, no theft or nothing like that. So, um, the lane did say something about, okay, well, basically if you have a background, if you have we will, work with you, no matter what your record is. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a gamble on and see what they say once I do move to curbside final mile. So in the meantime, honestly, I've been kind of brushing up on my skills, man, as far as hookups and stuff like that. Before I even
Mhm.
go in, and then so I can efficiently train my helper. Um, that's how I'm gonna post that.
Well, yeah,
I
I
do
would
have.
call them and check to see what the backgrounds, because if they make you pay, you don't want to waste money paying for backgrounds that you know they gonna not they gonna fail anyway. So you might want to call and inquire to see, you know what they looking for is
Or
specific. What you said? What?
no, go ahead, man. I was getting the call. I had to reject it.
Yeah, yeah. You might want to call them and see what they actually looking for. So I wouldn't waste money on a background, knowing with two people that I know just got out. I would want to inquire a little bit before I spend the money. If if they make you pay for the backgrounds, I would want to do a little research first.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Oh yeah, my main thing was the how I would approach that Staples lane, by me being somebody else, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, you just apply, you'd be the contractor, and then they would be the employee. So both of y'all would do a profile. They just have both of y'all. They just have both of y'all on paper. Because
Okay.
he might not show up. You know what I'm saying? And then you might have to cover that route. So they just gonna do a profile on both of y'all. That's all. They just gonna pay you. That's it. Ain't nothing extra to it. That's
All
it.
right, I think that's it. That was my main question. I think that's pretty much it though, man. I appreciate that.
It's all good.
Um,
Other than that, everything else good.
everything is rolling. I mean, to be honest, I really don't have um any like just in case funds before I make this move. So right now I'm just trying to get all my equipment strapped and everything, all the equipment I'm gonna need to make these moves efficient. Um, but as far as like reserves, it's looking kind of
You
slow when I
you talking
when
about for
playing. I
you
ain't
talking
gonna lie.
you talking about for the final mile, right?
Yeah, for final mile, I ain't gonna lie.
They
My
provide they
reserves,
they
yeah.
provide you the truck, right?
Yes, yes,
You gonna need blankets. You gonna need
I
shrink
got them
wrap.
already.
How many you got?
Shit, I got about probably 8 blankets.
No, you're gonna need way
Um,
more than that. You're gonna need way more than that. You
oh
doing
shit,
final mile? What if you got 15 stops? What if
true.
what if 10 of them are refrigerators? What is 8 blankets gonna do for you? You need at least 3 to 4 dozen blankets.
Damn. Okay, shit. I need to make some shit happen then.
You need blankets stacked from the floor halfway up the truck. You need that many blankets.
So what I had right now was efficient for my sprinter, but that
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 was
makes a lot
efficient
of
for your
sense.
sprinter, but you running
That's
final
about it.
mile. You hear me talk about claims all the time. You gonna get, let's say you get 12, 13, 14, 50 stops. You gonna have to wrap that stuff. You might
True.
need some blankets to lay down on some floors, all type of stuff. You never know. You gonna damage blankets. Blankets gonna get ripped and torn. You gonna have to toss them. You need blankets. You're gonna need shrink wrap. You're gonna need an appliance dolly. You're gonna need a bunch of four wheelers. You're gonna need at least six to eight four wheelers. You're gonna need some shoulder straps. You're gonna need some forearm straps. You're gonna need some hump straps.
Yeah. I know I need hella.
I just did a video a week ago.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
So you
But
going for final mile, you're gonna need all of that. I had more than 8 blankets on that truck, and that was a 16 footer. And that had more than 2 dozen blankets on it.
I'm lacking. I'm lacking for real. Lacking.
So you need Yeah, you need about 6 to 8 4 wheelers. You need a hand truck. You need an appliance dolly. You need some shoulder straps. You need some forearm straps. You need some hump straps. You need some shrink wrap. You need some craft paper to cover the floor. You need some carpet runners.
Wait, you said craft paper?
Yeah, craft paper you tape down on the floor.
Yeah.
You could do craft paper. You need carpet runner. It's like carpet runner is like this sticky clear stuff you can get from the moving supply, and you just roll it over the carpet. It's sticky.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, I'm used to
or
those.
or you can get the runners. You can get the blue runners. Now they cost. See the thing with the sticky plastic. Once the roll goes out, you're gonna have to keep buying the roll, or you can get the runners. The runners are more expensive. You're gonna have to wash them because they're gonna get dirty and because you stepping on them. But you can wash those. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna need runners. So the craft paper and the plastic, that's like, you can use that. You should have all of it, but yeah. So you got a lot of stuff to get. Final mile ain't no joke, man. Especially if you trying to come over to the big and bulky. Like you gotta have these things. You gotta have these things, man. You gotta have these things to prevent claims. It ain't no game. These are not. Well, you know what? I'll get my first settlement and then I'll just go get a few items. No, you gotta have this stuff from day one.
Okay.
Yeah. We got movers in the building tonight. We got a few moving companies in the building tonight. So yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna need all
man.
these things, man.
I'm gonna say within the next probably 2 weeks tops, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger, given that I have all the supplies and that my helper is trained properly before we even go in there. Understands the importance of uh, shit first, customer service and being courteous and respectful. Like no matter what, I'm gonna make sure he understands all of that first. Then obviously hands on. So I think
Yeah.
I'm ready though, man. I think I'm ready to come with the big dogs, man.
All right.
Think
I
I'm
hope
ready.
so. I hope so, cause I don't want 4 months later you talking about, man. I didn't know it was like that, man. Hey, I'm telling you what it's like. So I'm trying, just it ain't no joke, man. So
I'm ready, man.
all right, all right. Well, keep me updated. Let me know.
So,
All right.
all right, good looking, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, cheech. What does that say? Shoulder dolly. Yeah, shoulder straps. The company is called Shoulder Dolly. It's just the straps that you put it on. It hangs. It got the buckle. The other guy puts it on. It hangs. You put the long strap. You strap it in. Put it under whatever it is you want to punch. You squat down. You pull the strap down. Make sure it's tight. Make sure when you stand up, it don't come out. Tighten it up. Stiffen up. Straighten your back up. Put your hand right there. You stand up and you go. That's what the shoulder dolly is. I say shoulder dolly, shoulder strap, same thing. But they call shoulder dolly. Um, Let me see. This is what the shoulder dolly look like.
HDmoving.com is really a resource for you to really help supplies, and we found phone wrap for your kitchen really completes the entire process.
I thought they was gonna give a demonstration, but I guess not. Oh, well, here's one. One, I don't, they make it look easy in the video because they never show you stairs. You never see them doing it with stairs. Two, I would never use this for a couch. It's not something I would use for a couch because here's the thing: the way they moving it around, you're not getting through a door like this. So this is cap. I would I would never use a shoulder dolly for a couch. Maybe even if you moving it around the house, maybe from one room to the next on the same floor, still would never use it for a mattress because it's just... Now notice how when it got to the part where she had to get to that landing and make that turn, they switched the camera because, man, they no, it's cap. It's cap. Right. You better turn the camera because you're not making that turn like that. You're not making that turn like that. I don't even know why they're using that for that. I put that on a four-wheeler, that's got a board across and just push it over there. Like this is unnecessary. Like all this shit that they doing right there, all this is unnecessary. I'll put this on a four-wheeler and just push it. Like, are you sitting? The thing is on wheels. And see, this is what I'm saying. They trying to sell the product. But as a person who's been moving for 14 years, I wouldn't put shoulder straps on to move something that got 4 wheels. It got 4 wheels on the bottom of it right there. Like, come on, man, give me a break. Now this is what you use this stuff for. That safe, these refrigerators. Hey, it's DeWalk. You ready for this? Is you ready? Now, that table right there, see, I'm pointing out all the mistakes in this video. I'm pointing out all the mistakes. We're just going to turn this into a mistake video. Hold on. Why they ain't let me, oh, there you go. Hold on, let me. They not letting me move it back. Oh, they're not gonna let me put it. But anyway, when they brought that refrigerator in that house, it was a table there. They should have moved that table out the way before they even brought that refrigerator in. Wouldn't be using these for boxes. That's what you got dollies for. All right, dollies, or I would probably use a hump strap for the wardrobe box. I would throw the hump strap around, I'd tie it up, and then I would put that on my back. I wouldn't be using that for that. All right, enough of that, man. The only thing that I seen in that video that really they should have been using those straps for is that safe and that refrigerator. A lot of that shit that they was doing in that video was just to sell the product to like old people to use these straps to move stuff around the house. And even then, like with the mattress going up, they switched the camera right before it got to the landing, because you're not gonna move a mattress with straps and make that turn. You wouldn't even use those straps to move a mattress. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But yeah, that's what a shoulder dolly is. Let's see. Yeah, I asked me, like the couch, you just carry the couch. Like the best way to move a couch is just carry it. 2 men carry it. You know, because you're gonna have to angle it at some point. And like, what's the sense of, like, you're not getting upstairs like that, you're not going through a doorway like that. You got to carry the couch. It's the only way to move it. How much harder do stairs make it? Stairs make everything harder. And depending on how many flights, then that much harder. For every flight, it's harder. So stairs is one of the obstacles that you got to deal with in moving. You know what I'm saying? Stairs, doorways, you know, just tight spaces. I mean, it's moving. You know what I'm saying? No two moves are the same. There's always going to be some obstacle somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Every now and again, you get blessed with a move that is just like God just sent it. You know, it's just an easy, stress-free, no obstacle move. But for the most part, even the moves you think are going to be easy, when you first get there, you be like, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. Something just happens that turns it into a obstacle course. It just never fails. Yeah, that was an ad. Yeah, and actually, we don't move live plants either. Anything that's live is not allowed to go on the truck. So people, animals, plants, nothing live. So, Mark, how do I land moving jobs? I did a video on it. I did a couple videos on it recently, like a few weeks ago. Thumbtack is a good way. Craigslist is a good way. I would go Thumbtack route before I go Craigslist route. I would use those two avenues, and then I would just go from there. So Craigslist and Thumbtack, and then you can watch these videos that I put out. What were they? So these videos right here. $500 a day strategies for your cargo van or 16-foot box truck business. And $900 a day doing small moves with a 16-foot box truck. You can apply that to a 26-foot box truck as well. And then this one that's right next to it, how to find jobs for your small moving and box truck business. So this video, and this video. All right. Big and bulky, you're not really going upstairs with fridges though. Says who? You don't know what you're gonna do. Only thing you know is you're gonna be delivering appliances every day. You know, you're not gonna have the same customers every day. You might have a person who lives in a condo, a 3-story condo, a 3-flat, but it's a condo building, no elevator. They might buy a brand new refrigerator, and they on the 3rd floor. So guess what? The refrigerator got to go up 3 flights of stairs. Listen, you don't know where people live, what your job is going to entail day to day when you're doing this. So you have to be prepared for everything. You can't go in there. No, you don't know what you're going to have to do. Somebody might buy a gun safe. Some people want their gun safes in the garage. Some people want them in the basement. Going down with stuff, with certain things, can be just as hard as going up with them. You know, so you don't know. You could be doing a delivery, and it could be a person who ordered a bunch of planters. I done moved some heavy planters, and guess what? It might be a skydeck rooftop. So it might be a house, a newly built house that, without an elevator, that's 3-level house, and then they got a rooftop deck. So now you got to go up 4 flights with a bunch of planters, heavy planters too. So you never know. That's the thing. You don't know. Of course, but I imagine with fridges it's mostly 1st level. No. What if you go to an apartment building? A condo. What if there's a landlord who owns an apartment building, a 2-story, a 3-story, a 4-flat, and one of their tenants' refrigerator goes out and they have to buy a new refrigerator, and they live on the 4th floor or they live on the 3rd floor, and that refrigerator needs to go up 3 or 4 flights. That's the thing. You don't know. You don't know. And depending on what market you're in, you may get more homes than apartments. But if you're in, let's say, New York or Chicago, let's say New York, you may get more condos and apartments than houses. Some of those buildings will be elevator buildings, but then you got some that are going to be walk-ups. Doesn't necessarily have to even be a condo. It could be a tenant. Washer and dryer goes out. They got a stackable washer and dryer. So guess what? They're on the 3rd or the 4th floor, no elevator. That means the guys will go up 3 or 4 flights. So, Heavy Goodman, what's going on? What's going on? What if their house has the kitchen on the 2nd floor? I've done that too. The way people build houses now from the ground up, they design them the way they want to design them. I've been in the homes where kitchen was on the 2nd floor. I've been in the homes that have had multiple kitchens. You see what I'm saying? So it's definitely not sweet. What up, Mark? Just checking in. Didn't know you was going live tonight. Yeah, this is a pop-up live. Just wanted to pop up, check in with my Sunday people. See how everybody on Sunday was doing. Not going to be on here too much longer. Mark, how much does the final mile contract usually make a year for one truck? Yeah, so anywhere on the low end, 180. On the high end, I've seen up to 300,000. Obviously, the 300,000 contract is a 7-day-a-week contract, and it pays well. It's usually big and bulky appliances on a 6 to 7 day a week contract. Yep. So, all right, we got 3 minutes left. Hit that like button if you came in. Any more questions? I got 3 minutes and then I'm out of here. I got that timer set, so good to know. Hopefully Rob could come back. He had good insight on the actual work day and what truly happens. Yeah, I'm probably bring Rob back in a couple weeks. I thought about bringing him back. I'm probably gonna actually have somebody else come on this week. One of my I don't want to call him a student, but someone that I coach. He's probably one of the most. He's probably booked the most coaching sessions from me. Um, he was a guy that did OTR. And when the market started to shift last year, he transitioned into curbside. So he does curbside. He has a dedicated contract curbside with TQL. He does HD Supply, and then he also does moving. He does moving. He makes good money doing moving. So, he's doing really well from it. Like he'll do his dedicated route, and he'll have jobs that he pulled off a Thumbtack that are just one item jobs that he'll go do by himself. He told me he moved a pallet for somebody last week for charge him $200 just for one pallet. He said he went to do something at a lady's house in his truck and he charged her like $300. So, just booking these coaching sessions and talking to me and me guiding him from when he was doing OTR and the market started to shift, guiding him to curbside final mile, and then ultimately taking all the opportunities doing moving jobs. He's happy now. He's talking about expanding into he actually picked up a contract, I believe, doing cleanouts. I guess one of the apartment buildings he was doing a move out of, I think maybe the property management approached him or something. So now, like, I think he's doing like all the eviction not even the eviction, the apartments where people move out and they just leave all the stuff. He's doing all those clean outs. So he's doing really, really well. Really, really well. So I may have him come on and just talk about his story. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Being that I have a minimum equipment, i.e. 8 blankets and 4 ratchet straps, what's an estimated cost? Equipment necessities. Those blankets, you're going to need a range of blankets. You're going to need the 80-pound ones and then the thicker ones as well. Those thicker ones, you're going to run you a dozen, going to run you about $130 to $150. The 80-pound blankets are going to run you about $70, $70 to $80 for a dozen. Shrink wrap is about $70 a case. You're gonna need moving tape. You're gonna need the 110-yard moving tape. You're gonna need the shoulder dollies. I can't, like, all this equipment I purchased years ago. Shoulder dollies will probably cost you about $40. Hump straps, if I can remember, last time I bought some hump straps from CDS, they was about $10 a strap. Shrink wrap gonna cost you about $70 a case. You need 80 gauge. Don't go to Home Depot. And you know what? All these guys that I be seeing on Instagram, if you hit me up, I'm finna tell you now, because you're not doing it right. If you hit me up and I go look at your page and I look at your pictures and you say you moving and I see you with that green shrink wrap, I know you bought that shit from Home Depot. That's the worst shrink wrap you can buy. One is 43 gauge. It tears very easily. And that's for consumers. That's not industrial grade shrink wrap. If I see you with that green shrink wrap, I'm gonna hit the button on you. Where my button at?
You tweaking.
Don't come to me talking about, man, Mark, I just started one, and you got that green shrink wrap. I'm gonna talk about you and I'm gonna hit the button.
You tweaking. Yo, goof ass.
All right. Get you industrial grade shrink wrap. It has to be 80 gauge. 80 gauge shrink wrap. Industrial. Don't go to Uline. Don't go to Uline. Go to CDS, go to New Haven. Or I can put you on a company. It's an industrial company that has a store on Amazon that sells shrink wrap. All right? And they sell good industrial grade shrink wrap, 80 gauge. A lot of the other stuff I told you that you're going to need, I can't really give you prices on that stuff off the top of my head. What else? Your hand truck dolly going to cost you about $80. You need to get your 4-wheel dollies. Don't go to Home Depot and buy them cheap $30, $20 four-wheel dollies, them little flat ones. No, those things are gonna break. They say they rated up to 1,000 pounds. No, they're not. They're lying. You go to CDS or you go to New Haven, you got to get you a big cap, big cap four-wheel dollies. They're gonna cost you about $70, $75 a dolly. Chicago, we call them Chicago cap or big cap dollies. All right, the ones that I showed in the video with the rubber. The rubber gonna come off over time, over years, but you can still use it. You have to get big cap dollies. Those are gonna cost you about $70, $75 a dolly. All right, your appliance dolly gonna cost you about $180. About $180. All right, you can get you a hand truck for about $80. What else you gonna need? What else you gonna need? What else you gonna need? My time is up. I think that's it. I think I covered it. Yeah, so you're gonna have to spend you a little bread. U-Haul moving helper. What about it? I did a video on U-Haul moving helper. I think that's a good way to start if you want to do labor only. $180,000 a year. That's on the low end. That's on the low end. Like that's on the low end to the point where low end. Yeah, you probably running the contract 5 days a week. You making minimal pay, and you in a small market. But for the most part, most final amount. Wait, you said 180 is possible. Final amount. Oh no, final amount curbs. I'm thinking big and bulky. Final amount curbside. It all depends on what market you're in, what contract you have, and what you're getting paid per stop. You know what you're getting paid per stop. But you know you can touch 200 easy. 200. I got people that's making 200, 225. You know, they up on the $50 stop though. They in that $50 stop category. So can you get a curbside contract with a 22-foot box truck? Probably not. You're not gonna have enough room to do a full run. What kind of money can be made with a 16-foot box truck? A lot of money. A lot of money. About $1,000 a day money if you know what you're doing. So, all right. Peace out, Zupchuck. Shout out to Zupchuck. Go to Granger if you have one near you. They are good as Uline, but way better prices. Yep. So, all right, my time is up, y'all. I'm going to stick to my clock tonight. I appreciate everybody. Once again, this was a pop-up. Make sure that you guys check out the Wise Men tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow for the Wise Men podcast. And then I'll be back Thursday. Appreciate y'all. I'm out.